I was born in Mission, BC, and when I was young, like 2.5, 3, my mom passed away. So then it was tough on my dad, me, my older brother. He was 5 years older than me. So my dad kept my brother in Abbotsford, but he sent me to Oliver to stay with my uncles, and that's where I grew up. That's where I spent most of my elementary years. I went to the elementary school there, Oliver Elementary. So it was interesting. I would go, it's almost two different worlds. I honestly only remember 2 other brown kids in my grade. I always did keep my hair. I was the only kid in my entire elementary school that had like my Judah or long hair. And even my brother at the time, he had a haircut. So it's pretty confusing for me, but like, the weird thing was I never thought about it. For the most part, you don't think you're different, especially as a child. You think you fit in. At least you just believe that you're the same as everyone. I think there was definitely times where, now that I think about it, that I was discriminated. And it starts with simple things like, doing name call or attendance, and the teacher gets to my name. The teacher says something like Harsimranjeet, and my name ends with a T. And I told her my name is Harsimranjeet, and you can call me Harsimran because that's what my parents would call me. And she's like, and she looked at me and she's like, isn't there anything shorter that would work? And I was baffled because that was my name. And you don't, as a child, you don't think someone's gonna come up to you and ask you to change your name, even after I gave them my nickname and they asked me for more of a nickname. So I was confused and I didn't say anything. And she's like, how about these 3 letters here, Sim? And I said okay. I didn't know what else to say. I was kind of shy. And it's kind of sad, but that name stuck with me since then. Everyone calls me Sim now. I guess you can say I've been assimilated. You definitely feel that pressure to fit in at school. You see a bunch of kids, they like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And at home, I'm listening to Jamala Jat because my uncle loves that. But at school, I'm a Red Hot Chili Pepper fan. And at home, I played field hockey. At school, I'm #1 Canucks fan because, that's what Raymond guys liked. So I had to like it too. So it's not something you, as a child, you think about, but it's just something that happens. I remember this one time, we had a teaching assistant named Matt, and his younger cousin was a student at the school who was my friend Heather, and me and Heather used to play all the time, and randomly she stopped talking to me and started avoiding me, and naturally as a child I asked her, like, hey Heather, what's up, why don't you talk to me, why don't we play anymore? And she said, Matt said I can't play with you anymore. And as a child I thought I was in trouble, I did something wrong, so I was super confused. And I kind of asked her, I was like, am I in trouble? Because Matt was a teaching assistant at the school there. And she said, no, it's not that you're in trouble, but I get in trouble for talking to you when I go home. So like, that's something that I just never got. And thinking back, it's you don't want to say it's racism, but honestly, like, there was, why else would he tell her not to hang out with me? Coming to Abbotsford, you would think, and coming to Abbotsford and meeting all these kids, all these brown kids, you'd think you'd find a sense of belonging. But it was weird because in my grade, I was still only one of 3 kids that had long hair or had a Judah. So it wasn't until later on that I was able to meet people that had the same kind of questions that I had. Why do I look the way I do, and why do I keep my hair, and what's the point of keeping it up on my head like this? And these are questions that they start weighing on you as you get older, especially as you're the preteens or in teenager years. Luckily, this is when I was able to, like, Sikhi has an idea, the idea of community and Sangat, and Sangat is where you can meet. It's a group of like-minded individuals with a common goal, And I wouldn't say at the time when I met my community of Sikhs that I had the same goal as them, but they were able to answer some of my questions that I had about my hair and how I looked. It was nice meeting like-minded people, and it was here that I found not exactly answers to my questions, but more so explanations for why I had these questions. And that was interesting for me, because it was at this point in my life that I learned about what the dastar meant just a few hundred years ago, where there was a price on the heads of those who wore a turban, and they gave up their lives so that I could wear my turban or my dastar today. And this was something that it weighed on me, and it really made me question why that was important, and why did they believe so much in a piece of cloth. It gets wrapped around my head, and it was in this thinking and thought process that I finally found peace with my identity. And it was at this moment that I made the decision that I would make the dastar a part of me, almost to honor these stories. And at that moment, it was enough for me to decide to wear a turban. And honestly, it was a liberating experience putting on my turban, or putting on my dastar, tying it, because it felt like I had joined a movement that was greater than myself. I had joined a revolution that started many years ago, but now I was a part of it, and this story that started a long time ago, I could write my own piece and be a part of it, and that was something that just blew me away.
To the woman who asked me why I tie a turban. Every morning, I wrap a lineage of revolution around my head, of women with fists like iron, of humans who laughed in the face of fear. Every turn of cloth sounds like revolt, every fold a vow to rebel. Once upon a time, kings tied turbans, and if you couldn't claim royal heritage, a crown upon your head would mean death. But I come from a lineage of courage, and where there was once fear arose a sea of rebels who held a rebellious notion that human life meant freedom, that equality was a birthright and not an earned privilege. And when the sixth Sikh Guru told his comrades to tie crowns of cloth, they angered a system of inequality, shattered political privilege in Punjab, and rose before a state that wished only to sedate, putting their lives on the line for 7 meters of cotton, desiring death before oppression. I wrap a revolution around my flowing hair every morning. I awake with the notion that your life means just as much as mine, that all life deserves respect. Every morning I crown myself with a vow to stand for the voiceless. Every morning I honor a legacy of leaders, from mothers in Mir Manu's jail to martyrs like Bibi Manjeet Kaur, Bibi Resham Kaur, Bibi Ravinder Kaur, who did not allow bullets to silence their sense of justice. Every morning I rise up for freedom. Every morning I decide that I am free.